How are you guys doing? Happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend, but not yet. I just got back from work and I haven't changed yet. Anywho, I decided to just do this video, really quick one. I wanted to talk about the chemo drugs, the chemo regimen that is usually given to patients who are diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. So as a new patient, usually a nurse or a doctor should be talking to the newly diagnosed patients about what type of drugs will be given to them. We call it, that particular session is called a chemo teach. In my facility, it's usually a nurse working alongside with the oncologist who does these things. So she brings in the patients, sits with them one-on-one together with their significant other, and she lays out the type of regimen that the doctor wants the patient to have. All of this, the choice of what type of chemo regimen is usually based on the pathology of the tumor, how far, if there is a spread or what we call a metastasis. There are many factors that will make the doctor decide on what to give the patient. And with that being said, patients should understand that even as, for example, my diagnosis was stage 3B. If I see another patient, actually I have seen other patients that have the same diagnosis as me, stage 3B, they ended up getting a different type of chemo regimen. The drugs that are chosen are what we call the tried and tested drugs, meaning all of these drugs have gone through many clinical trials, and their efficacy has been proven. So hence, when the doctor presents all these regimens to the patient, know and be confident that it has gone through many testing. Okay, so all right, what drugs are usually given for stage 3? I'm gonna just name two chemo combinations, chemo cocktails, because there's so much. If you are diagnosed with stage 4, there's a different type of list of drugs that are given to the patient. So for now, to make it simple, I'll just talk about two main regimens that we usually give to our patients. And these are the two chemo regimens that I want to talk about. The first one is CapeOx, and the other one is Folfox. I like that. CapeOx is a combination of two chemo drugs. First is Cape or capecitabine. That is the generic, and the brand name is usually the drug called Xeloda. Okay, it comes in pills. This is a pill, a chemo pill. Oxaliplatin, I'm not even gonna talk about what the brand name is, because ever since I gave chemo, I just went with oxaliplatin. But oxaliplatin is the IV form. And this combination of drugs is called CapeOx. Usually, the this regimen is usually given every 3 weeks, meaning the patient on day 1 comes to the infusion center. She gets this medication, which is usually given over 2 hours. And once this is completed, she goes home and starts this drug called Xeloda. Now, the Xeloda is usually given twice a day. A certain number of pills in the morning and a certain number of pills at night for 2 weeks. All right? After she completes 2 weeks of Xeloda, she takes a break, 1 week break. All right? And then after that break, she starts another cycle. On the 3rd week, she goes back to the clinic and start another round of oxaliplatin and another round of the capecitabine. These 2 drugs go hand in hand. Let me backtrack. So these drugs go hand in hand, and they are given every 3 weeks. And then the pills are taken 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Break, meaning it's an off week, 1 week. I'm chemo teaching. So CapeOx, this little Q, in the medical field we call that every. So CapeOx every 3 weeks. On the first day, you get the oxaliplatin, followed by 2 weeks of Xeloda or the capecitabine. And after you complete your pills, you take a break. After that, you go back again for another round. Usually, in my case, I had a total of 4 cycles of CapeOx. So meaning I was stuck 4 times in order for me to get the oxaliplatin, and a total of 8 weeks of pills, of Xeloda pills I had to take. All right. So these 2 is one of the drug combinations that is given for stage 3. I was diagnosed with stage 3B, and this is what my doctor recommended for me. Okay. Another combination is the regimen called Folfox. It sounds complicated, however, it's actually just very simple. We are still giving the drug oxaliplatin, hence that ox. And then we are now adding the IV version of the capecitabine. This drug is given every 2 weeks. For a total of, it's usually given every 6 months. So what happens is the patient comes on day 1 for the oxaliplatin, and then they go home with a pump usually attached to their chest. And I hear people say, what are you talking about? All right, for the regimen Folfox, the doctor will usually say, okay, you need to have this, and because this is the regimen that we chose, we need to have a port or a central line put in your chest, and this is how the drug is delivered. So, okay, there's a thing on your chest called a port. The nurse puts a needle in, tapes it, and that is how all the drugs go in. The oxaliplatin, which runs for 2 hours, and then eventually the 5-FU. 5-FU is kind of like the IV version of Xeloda or capecitabine. 5-FU. 5-FU is the IV version of Xeloda. So the 5-FU is usually administered for 46 hours. The drug is liquid, of course, and it is, I've seen places where they send the medication with a patient in a little pump, encased in a little pump, or in a ball, plastic ball, rubberized ball, whatever, and it will routinely deliver a certain amount of drugs over a 46-hour period. So 2 ways, 2 regimens, 2 very common regimens that we give for stage 3B. This is the first line chemo that we give. What else? I don't want to talk about the side effects just yet because that's a lot. I don't want to go beyond 13 minutes. So if you are stage 3B, CapeOx or Folfox. CapeOx is given every 3 weeks. It is the combination of Xeloda and oxaliplatin. And then Folfox is given every 2 weeks. It is the combination of oxaliplatin and the IV form of Xeloda, which is the 5-FU. Fluorouracil. Oh my gosh. Until now, I cannot pronounce that drug. It's called 5-FU. It's given 2 weeks. Usually the duration is 6 months. Okay? That's it. I know I'm not a good teacher. I don't usually do it like this to my patients. But FYI. And hopefully we'll talk about the side effects in another video. So for those of you who are about to start this regimen, I know it's scary the first time, but just say a prayer, release. It's okay to cry the first time. It's okay to ask many questions. That you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. All right, till next time.